55% of its territory for 15 million USD. That was exactly the price at which this country ceded its territory to the United States, creating one of the most controversial deals in American history. Welcome to Mexico, the land of magnificent heritage, and home to some of the planet's most peculiar paradoxes. Here, there is the largest pyramid in the world, twice the size of Giza, Egypt, and it also faces the greatest risk of sinking. There are places where people offer tequila and blow cigar smoke to worship the Lord of the Underworld, a figure considered the supreme savior. You will be even more surprised to know that Coca-Cola here is like a holy water, consumed to purify the soul and exorcise evil spirits. In this video, let's explore the hidden truths about Mexico together. If you find this topic interesting, hit the subscribe button, and let's get started right now. Number 1. A country that once lost nearly half of its territory. While millions of Americans today enjoy the prosperity from the bright sunshine of California, the wealth from Texas oil wells, or the pristine beauty of Arizona, few know that most of those bustling lands once belonged to Mexico. In the mid-19th century, after years of political instability, border conflicts, and finally the Mexican-American War, this country was forced to sign the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo in 1848. As a result, Mexico lost about 55% of its historical territory. In return, they received a compensation of $15 million from the United States. That number sounded large at the time. But when converted to today's monetary value, that compensation wouldn't even be enough to buy a luxury penthouse in the heart of Manhattan, and it became one of the most controversial geopolitical transactions in American history. What is noteworthy is that this story is not just a thing of the past. The borders redrawn after the war have divided communities, families, and even cultural regions that had been connected for generations. In fact, many people in the southern United States today still carry Spanish surnames and have ancestors who lived on that land long before the American flag appeared. For some Mexicans, this is not merely a chapter of history that is closed. It is a collective memory of a huge loss, a scar still present in debates about national identity, sovereignty, and immigration. Perhaps the greatest paradox lies here. Nowadays, millions of people seek to cross the border to enter the United States, but few stop to think that, from another perspective in history, that very border once moved through them before they ever had the chance to move through it. Number 2. The exorcism ritual with Coca-Cola. While churches in Europe are often known for their quiet, solemn atmosphere, in the town of San Juan Chamula, located in the Chiapas highlands of Mexico, you will step into a completely different spiritual world. This is where the ancient beliefs of the Maya blend with Catholic faith, creating a unique cultural space. The secret to religious practice here is a strange blend of old traditions and new beliefs. Surprisingly, when entering the Templo de San Juan Bautista Church, instead of rows of stone benches, the floor is covered with a layer of fresh, fragrant pine needles. Thousands of candles are lit directly on the tiled floor, creating an enchanting atmosphere. Moreover, you will encounter some truly unique healing rituals. The congregation not only lights candles, but also uses items such as poultry in the purification rituals. Even the sight of them drinking liters of Coca-Cola and burping continuously is a curious aspect for any visitor. For the local community, burping is an effective way to expel negative energy or evil spirits from the body, according to traditional beliefs. However, to participate in this space, visitors must adhere to an extremely strict unwritten rule. Especially, the sanctity of this place is protected by strict community rules. Camera lenses and phones are absolutely forbidden. A warning for tourists is that if you deliberately raise your camera to take a picture, your device may be confiscated, or you may be asked to leave the town immediately. The locals here believe that taking photos can disturb the energy and inadvertently steal the soul of the person being photographed. Contrary to the skepticism of outsiders, for the indigenous people, this is the way they most authentically preserve their ethnic identity. And what about you? What do you think about this exorcism ritual using soft drinks? If given the chance, would you dare step into a mysterious spiritual space and perform this strange ritual? Please share in the comments. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you won't miss the next shocking truths waiting behind. This is a cultural experience that every visitor should observe with respect and a deep understanding of their worldview. Number 3. One of the biggest cultural shocks about marriage lies deep within the wild canyons of Mexico. Most of Mexican society strictly adheres to the monogamous tradition of Catholicism. But an interesting phenomenon occurs in Copper Canyon, the rugged mountains of Mexico, where the Tarahumara tribe maintains a marriage system characterized by practicality and freedom. This is one of the most isolated regions, where modern life has barely touched, and the customs of the people here are often viewed through a lens of curiosity by outsiders. The Tarahumara people can go through many relationships or even change partners before officially committing for the long term. The interesting thing is that behind this truth there is neither oppression nor inequality. In essence, this resembles a form of trial cohabitation to test compatibility. Surprisingly, due to the nature of marriages that are sometimes arranged early on, finding harmony from the beginning is difficult. Going through this bonding phase gives individuals the opportunity to understand each other's personalities, family management abilities, and compatibility in daily life before officially establishing a long-term relationship. Especially, Tarahumara women have a very high degree of autonomy in these relationships. They have the full right to choose whether to continue the relationship or actively leave if they feel incompatible without facing stigma or pressure from the community. This helps ensure that families are formed on the basis of voluntary and genuine harmony rather than dogmatic constraints. Number 4. While the sun-drenched beaches of Cancun or Tulum are often known for their openness, freedom, and liberality, right in the heart of the bustling capital, Mexico City, there exists a very distinct preference for women. When stepping down into the massive and crowded subway system of this megacity, visitors will easily encounter specially marked train cars. They operate as no-go zones entirely for men, creating a space designated exclusively for women and children. In contrast to the friendliness often seen on the streets, the hidden corners behind these pink train cars reveal a deeply concerning social reality. This separation is not a random favor, but rather a profound warning about the instability in public spaces. Faced with reports of women frequently encountering harassment during peak traffic hours, the city authorities had to establish these separate carriages, resembling mobile protective spaces. This management strategy aims to provide women with a safe and comfortable journey amidst the bustling urban pace. Surprisingly, this regulation is enforced very strictly by the community and the authorities. At the stations, there are always barriers and security forces on duty to direct the flow of passengers. Even any man, whether a local resident or a foreign male tourist who accidentally steps into this boundary, will immediately be asked by the authorities to leave the carriage or face administrative fines. Especially for many international tourists, the gender segregation on public transport can create a certain level of bewilderment. However, when viewed through an empathetic lens, this is a practical and commendable effort by Mexico to address a complex urban issue. It demonstrates the society's determination to ensure respect for personal space and to move toward a safer travel environment for all passengers. What do you think about this solution? Is the creation of gender-segregated no-go zones a step back for equality, or a practical and necessary shield to protect women? Please leave a comment. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and that's not all. Number 5. The invisible rules on the highway. If in the US, or many developed countries, driving a large black SUV, tinted windows, or using a radio system is a symbol of luxury, power, and privacy, in some states of Mexico, this poses a significant risk. Contrary to the confidence of tourists who prefer discretion, these vehicle characteristics are often associated with the image of local underground organizations. Using them can cause your vehicle to be mistakenly identified as belonging to an opposing organization, leading to misunderstandings with unpredictable consequences. The real hidden aspect of night trips through the desolate desert roads is the presence of unofficial checkpoints. Even the unwritten rule when crossing these areas requires a reaction completely opposite to normal driving habits. The secret to moving through here is that the driver must immediately turn off the high-beam headlights, while also turning on the interior lights inside the car and rolling down the windows. This action demonstrates transparency, helping the guards easily recognize your face and confirm that you are just a civilian or a harmless tourist. Especially, these are not fabricated stories to scare, but rather a practical warning about the complexities of indigenous life. For the locals, it's simply a way of adapting. If you go to Mexico, make sure to grasp this invisible law to ensure your own safety. Number 6. The hidden corners reveal the painful dark side of the smoke-free industry. While millions of tourists eagerly check in next to the magnificent infinity pools filled with crystal-clear water at the luxury resorts in Cancun or Tulum, just on the other side of that glamorous wall, the local residents are struggling daily with cans of murky water for their daily needs. This contrasting image is by no means a coincidence. Surprisingly, the depletion of freshwater resources vital for the survival of indigenous communities largely stems from the explosive development of giant corporations. To maintain the lush green golf course lawns in the arid land and the vibrant fountains for tourism, a massive amount of groundwater has been drained day and night. Even prioritizing the supply of clean water for resort complexes and industrial factories has pushed millions of people into a state of water scarcity right in their own homeland. Especially, Mexico is currently at the top of the rankings for the largest bottled water consumers in the world. What's noteworthy is that they drink bottled water not for the luxury of convenience, but because the natural water sources have been overexploited and polluted to the point of being unusable. This is truly a chilling wake-up call. Unveiling this truth is not intended to judge or call for a boycott of trips. On the contrary, understanding this harsh reality is the key for us to learn how to become responsible travelers. Have you ever wondered about the hidden cost behind those perfect travel photos or the luxurious services you've experienced? Please leave your thoughts in the comments section. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button to continue with us on the journey of uncovering the most shocking secrets of the planet. Number 7. A space of faith full of controversy. Where darkness seems to be openly worshipped, while the Vatican continuously condemns it and considers it a form of blasphemous heresy, the worship of Santa Muerte, also known as the Saint of Death, is currently the fastest-growing religious movement in the Americas. The image of a skeleton in a cloak, holding a scythe, can make many tourists feel apprehensive and scared. Surprisingly, the secret behind the intense attraction of this saint lies in her absolute tolerance and complete lack of judgment. Surprisingly, in the presence of Santa Muerte, all moral and class boundaries are blurred. She opens her arms to embrace everyone, from notorious smugglers, those engaged in prostitution, to mothers grieving the loss of their children, and even police officers who face life-and-death situations every day. Moreover, the way of worship here transcends all conventional norms. In contrast to the image of pure white lilies or the melodious hymns, the offerings to the Saint of Death are deeply infused with the spirit of the streets. People offer her strong tequila, and the most common ritual is smoking cigars and then blowing thick clouds of smoke directly onto the statue's face to ask for protection. The deep, hidden corners of this belief system actually reflect a harsh social reality. Although often labeled as sinful and rejected by mainstream religion, for those marginalized individuals, this is the only spiritual refuge. The existence of this cult is like a profound warning. When people feel abandoned by society, they will seek salvation anywhere that is willing to listen, even if that place belongs to the darkness. Number 8. If in Western culture, witches or spiritual magic are merely entertainment in movies or novels, then right in the bustling heart of Mexico City, this is vividly present. Welcome to Mercado de Sonora, the bustling market dubbed the Wall Street of spiritual transactions. Surprisingly, contrary to the belief that magic must be performed secretly in dark alleys, this market operates bustlingly in broad daylight. For the first time appearing naturally before the camera, you will see hundreds of stalls lined up next to each other, selling all kinds of items for ancient rituals. Even here, you can easily haggle to buy love charms made from dried hummingbirds, secret herbs, or wild animal parts used for forbidden rituals. In addition, you can not only buy items but also purchase supernatural services. Right in the narrow alleys, with incense smoke wafting, people can hire practicing shamans to perform a cleansing ritual, also known as limpia. They use bundles of herbs to whip the customers or blow cigar smoke to drive away evil spirits and malevolent curses. However, the hidden aspect behind this strange prosperity is what is truly noteworthy. Especially, this is a massive economy run entirely on human faith and desperation. Surprisingly, the customers of the Sonora market are not only the working class, but also entrepreneurs, politicians, and gang leaders. The secret to survival sometimes lies in people being willing to bet their fate on invisible forces. And what about you? If you have the opportunity to set foot in the capital of Mexico, would you like to experience a purification ritual or haggle for a mysterious talisman? Please share your thoughts and choices in the comments below. And if you find these hidden aspects interesting, please hit the subscribe button, and we will continue to explore the hidden truths that few people share around the world. Number 9. The city is burying itself underground. While coastal cities around the world are anxiously fearing the prospect of rising sea levels right in the heart of the continent, the capital city of Mexico City is quietly sinking into the ground. Surprisingly, the brutal subsidence rate in some areas reaches up to 50 centimeters per year, turning one of the most bustling economic centers in the Americas into a real-life Atlantis on land. This phenomenon is not at all a natural disaster caused by the movement of the Earth's crust. On the contrary, the secret of this collapse lies in the very history and the excessive exploitation by humans. This colossal city was built right on the ruins of the ancient Aztec capital Tenochtitlan, a foundation that was originally situated on a shallow lake. Additionally, to accommodate the population explosion of up to 22 million people, the underground aquifer has been depleted to the point of no recovery. When the groundwater is depleted, the clay bed underneath begins to shrink and crack. The surprising thing is that this subsidence is uneven. It is day and night tilting historical architectural structures, breaking thousands of kilometers of water pipes, causing wastewater to backflow into the drinking water system. The hidden corners behind the splendor of the skyscrapers are, in fact, a sentence being slowly carried out. This incident is not merely an urban planning accident, but a chilling wake-up call. Especially, it shows the scarcity of resources. When we steal the foundation of nature to build our ambitions, the price to pay is the sinking of an entire brilliant civilization. Number 10. One of the most visually deceptive wonders of the world. While millions of tourists flock to the Yucatan Peninsula each year, eagerly diving into the natural sinkholes, also known as cenotes, with their crystal-clear turquoise waters, very few of them are aware of the chilling past that lies dormant beneath the still surface. Surprisingly, for the ancient Maya civilization, these massive sinkholes were not natural swimming pools for cooling off or recreation at all. On the contrary, in their spiritual worldview, these are sacred and extremely terrifying gateways leading straight to the underworld. The secret of these water-filled caves lies in their role as a boundary between life and departure. Additionally, during periods of drought, the Maya believed that the only way to appease the angry rain gods was to offer human lives. Surprisingly, that mysterious chapter of history has not disappeared at all, for the first time revealed through underwater archaeological footage. Professional divers today continue to discover countless remnants of ancient rituals lying quietly at the bottom of the deep abyss. Even the remnants of humanity, at depths of tens of meters, are still astonishingly well preserved after thousands of years. The truly chilling aspect is the presence indifference. Every day, nature-loving tourists swim, splash, and take photos right above a massive underwater graveyard without any idea. Conclusion: Mexico often appears on the world stage as a paradise of blue seas, magnificent Maya ruins, and a vibrant, colorful culture. But behind those perfect postcards lies a much more complex country. This is a place where a territorial wound from nearly 2 centuries ago still affects the present, where ancient beliefs coexist with the modern world, where saints in skeletal forms are publicly worshipped, spiritual markets still bustle in the capital, and invisible laws sometimes hold more importance than official legislation. What detail about Mexico impresses you the most? Please share in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel, because the greatest paradox of Mexico is that what the world calls sin is sometimes just the way ordinary people seek hope, protection, and meaning in an unstable life. This video was created to analyze social, economic, and cultural trends based on surveys, public data, and comprehensive perspectives from various sources. The content is not intended to attack any country, organization, or individual. The views in the video may not reflect everyone's experiences. The audience is encouraged to consult multiple sources of information and form their own opinions on this topic. Thank you for watching. Goodbye, and see you again.